Voilà, salut, on se retrouve sur Vampyr. Alors en fait j'ai un petit souci avec le modem, mais c'est réglé. C'est pour ça que j'avais des problèmes avec mon stream. Et donc voilà, donc on a loupé, je dirais 20 minutes de jeu par rapport au stream d'avant, à cause des problèmes de stream. Mais voilà, maintenant j'ai réglé le truc. Je pensais que c'était Twitch, mais non, c'était mon modem. Voilà, donc... en gros, on s'est arrêté dans un bar où on rencontre à l'étage un gars qui nous fait reculer avec la croix. Et on lui explique qu'on lui veut pas de mal et tout ça. Et il nous explique qu'il y a un vampire un peu fou, qu'il a sa trace et tout. Et je lui explique que moi aussi, parce que ce vampire fou, apparemment, c'est celui qui m'aurait transformé. Et que je veux le revoir, que je veux le choper, quoi. Et donc, je pars avec un espèce de pouvoir de sens. Je pars pour le retrouver. En suivant des traces de sang. Et j'arrive dans un entrepôt près des docks où je dézingue un vampire. Et il y a le gars qui m'a fait reculer avec la croix qui arrive avec quelqu'un d'autre pour secourir un de leurs amis qui était en train de se faire bouffer. Et au final, bah, c'est moi qui l'ai secouru. Et puis il dit bah, il faut aller à l'hôpital parce que bah, le gars est quand même sévèrement blessé. Donc on y va. Et là je vais essayer d'en savoir un peu plus. Là, je suis à l'hôpital et j'apprends qu'apparemment dans ma vie d'humain j'étais médecin et donc voilà. Je suis en train de continuer à faire l'enquête. C'est un peu dommage, c'est 20 minutes qui étaient assez intéressantes, mais voilà. J'étais là-dessus, j'avais posé mes questions.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing in. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Alors, milieu dans le jardin, du bien et du mal, nouvelle enquête, investigation locale, enquête sur les citoyens, hein, ok. Alors, enquête citoyen, c'est ici que vous trouverez. Consultez les enquêtes sur les citoyens triés par quartier, vous pouvez démarcher. Ok. Par exemple, là, je peux démarrer. Là, je la suis actuellement. Ok, c'est pour ça un peu plus.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
Ok, question personnelle, il faut des indices. Et là, il y a encore une question, il faudrait un indice.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Ah, je peux lui acheter des choses. Usine Milton. Déjà, j'ai quoi en thune? J'ai 50. C'est pas grand chose. Ah, tout ça, je peux lui acheter. Ok, il n'y a pas de lui. On verra si j'ai besoin de lui plus tard. On verra. Ok, je regarde, il n'y a pas des choses à voler là ici. On va parler un peu tout le monde.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
Ah bah ça c'est marrant ça. Spécialisé en transfusion sanguine. J'avoue que... Là il va me dire qu'il faut des indices. Voilà. Ok.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's not exactly the best situation in London either. I can't have expected this hospital to be prepared for what was to come.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Ok, on sait déjà un peu plus sur
Any
ça.
opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office down again.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Ok. On va même le boire un petit coup là. J'ai soif. J'ai soif. Petite goutte vite fait, il va rien voir de toute façon. Ah,
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Ouais.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Bon, let's go.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
J'ai dû sang analyser moi en plus.
I have wasted too much energy for so little.
Un petit truc que je peux piquer là, non rien.
It's locked, all right. It's locked.
Merde. Faudrait un petit pass pour choper des trucs. Ok, ça mène vers un parc. Ok, complet, oui, rentrez chez vous. Ça n'a pas l'air si complet que ça, hein, je vois personne dans les couloirs. Arrêtez de se foutre de la gueule des gens. Ok. Ils se sont pas fait chier les mecs, hein. Ils ont fait une entrée.
The life running in your
Ah,
veins.
ça y est, il y a des
This
patients.
dead
Enfin.
flesh needs it.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Ah. On va voir ça. Ah, je veux bien, j'appuie. Et quoi? On voit 1000 d'expérience.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities. Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Allez, pourquoi il les chante pas? J'appuie pourtant.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reed. Blood is the only drug I need.
Ah oui, j'ai pas le niveau encore pour les charmer. Là.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover to hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal, but do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure, but I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Every street corner. The daily routine.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
Ok, il a kiffe.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
C'est toujours pas comment ça. Hein. Ah.
So this is how it ends. Farewell, my life, you betrayed me, good.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers Trade Union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith, willing to preach the good word.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest, and then I can go back to the people who need me.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later. It's locked.
Ouais, je fais le tour. Je vais parler un peu tout le monde en fait. Je vais aller à mon bureau. Une porte en fait, je vais essayer de les ouvrir.
I cannot enter.
Un peu le tour du bordel. Non, c'est pas y aller. Ça peut y aller, c'est juste pour faire beau. Et il y a des endroits où tu peux pas aller de toute façon. Alors, on va voyez un petit peu ce que j'ai récupéré.
It's locked.
C'est mon bureau.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Ah. Alors, cher Jonathan, je demande à la fermière Crane de vous préparer un bureau au premier étage. Vous expliquez la décoration plutôt austère, mais le Palenbrook Hospital n'est pas exactement le Ritz. Pardon de vous laisser vous y prendre seul, mais j'ai besoin de quelques heures de sommeil avant de retourner au travail. Je suis qu'un simple mortel. Après tout, j'ai également donné l'ordre aux employés de vous laisser vous reposer et de ne jamais pénétrer dans votre bureau. Vous pouvez y dormir toute la journée sans être importuné, travailler de nuit sans éveiller le moindre soupçon. Je crains que l'endroit ne soit un peu en désordre. Mais vous pourrez de même... ok, je peux faire mes expériences. Marquer également la présence d'une fenêtre non verrouillée et pourvue d'un échafaudage qui vous permettra d'entrer et de quitter l'hôpital sans être vu. Très bien. Je ne peux qu'imaginer à quel point tout ceci est nouveau et perturbant pour vous. Croyez-moi, j'ai étudié votre espèce pendant assez longtemps pour comprendre ce que vous devez ressentir. Soyez assurés, je ferai tout ce que je peux pour vous aider à traverser cette épreuve. Vous n'êtes pas seul, je suis heureux de vous avoir rencontré en ces temps difficiles auxquels nous faisons tous face. J'espère que notre future collaboration produira d'excellents résultats. Bienvenue à Pembroke Hospital, très chers collègues, à très bientôt. Blablabla, soin de ça. Je vous ai laissé une copie de certaines notes. J'ai rédigé concernant mes découvertes sur Econ ces dernières années. Ok. Voilà, c'est ça les notes sur Econ. C'est l'occasion rare et pratiquement un privilège de pouvoir approcher un vampire et d'observer leurs caractéristiques physiques et psychologiques les plus intrigantes. D'un œil scientifique relationnel, voici quelques-unes des capacités les plus fascinantes que j'ai pu observer ces 10 dernières années en m'entretenant avec quelques vampires, ou econs comme ils préfèrent s'appeler. Ok. Vitesse naturelle, un vampire peut agir, se mouvant exactement comme un mortel, mais l'œil aguerri remarquera que leurs réflexes sont bien plus aiguisés et qu'ils peuvent réagir plus vite que n'importe quel humain. À plusieurs occasions, alarme, surprise, besoin de fuir. J'ai pu voir un vampire bouger si rapidement que j'ai cru qu'il avait simplement disparu pour réapparaître ailleurs. L'œil humain ne peut les suivre. Ok. Donc une grande vitesse. Mesmérisme, l'une des plus puissantes compétences qu'un vampire puisse utiliser est celle de forcer un mortel à lui obéir. J'appelle ça électrique, ok. En gros, c'est le truc que je fais quand je les charme. Conscient du sang, cette caractéristique des vampires peut être la plus terrible de toutes. Les essais physiques surviennent dans les espèces. Les vampires ont un seul de sang et ils doivent faire preuve d'une grande maîtrise d'eux-mêmes pour ne pas sauter comme des bêtes enragées sur le premier goutte de sang. Ok. Ok, je peux être affamé, je peux pas mourir de soif ni de faim. Des fioles de verre, on l'a dit, je vais pouvoir me faire des petites fioles de
The
sang. je
flower's
pense.
dying. It needs water.
Ah, un truc pour craft. Il est établi pour permettre de fabriquer des traitements pour soigner les citoyens malades, des sérums pour booster votre métabolisme durant les combats, des améliorations d'armes et modules pour les personnaliser. Appuyez sur A pour continuer. Voilà. Vous devez d'abord analyser les composants que vous avez trouvés. Pour déverrouiller une nouvelle recette, cliquez sur le composant analysé. Voilà, recette inconnue. Ici, traitement pour la fatigue. Il faut une fiole, une quintine. Amnésie. Traitement pour les sepsis. Corps de génération léger. Restaure immédiatement 300 points de vie. Oui, 150 points de vie sur 15 secondes. Tartrate. 2 tartrates ferreux. Pollution. Ok, ouais, il faut leur détruire de toute façon. Je peux rien créer là pour l'instant.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now.
Alors, je peux m'améliorer. Là, c'est quoi? La jauge de santé, jauge d'endurance, capacité sanguine. Capacité de sang. Ça, je n'ai pas accès encore. passer. Voilà, il faut... Pas près de monter. Et je vais en faire un combattant corps à corps et à distance j'utiliserai des pouvoirs. Je vais pas utiliser les pouvoirs vampiriques pour... Ça je vais les monter aussi. Ça je vais les monter. Ah non. Sympa. C'est génial. Lui aussi, chouette. Il y a encore plein de trucs à monter. Hein. Aussi, il faudrait que j'augmente ma capacité de sang. Ah non, mais il m'a pas fait en fait. Ah, monter ma jauge de santé en fait. Ma capacité de sang. Celui-là, vu que j'ai utilisé morsure. Voilà.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
Come on, I don't have all night. I'm not one to make wait, Doctor. I've patients to attend.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
Sorry. There's nothing here.
Some of the patients won't last the night without them. Honestly, sir, I'm beside myself.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse. It's locked, all right. Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
On va le faire sortir ça. Ouais, ça me fait sortir.
I cannot enter. Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Toujours pas comment on équipe un flingue. Je cherche. Ah, il faut un morceau de gâchette commune et un ressort. Ou alors 5 vis, 5 graisses.
It's locked.
Les ingrédients médicaux dans la pile morgue, trouver tartrate ferreux, trouver la clé de la morgue. Ouais, ça c'est les 2 missions en cours. On sait pas défoncer les portes, c'est dommage.
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Ah, ça y est, c'est tout. On peut y aller. Et...
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Ok, j'ai la clé. Alors, c'est pour ouvrir ici, je crois.
It's locked, all right.
Pas cette porte-là qu'on peut ouvrir. Non, c'est pas y aller. Ah. Il m'emmerde ce truc. Allez, la caméra là, allez. Saleté, va. Voilà. Bon. C'est bien, j'ai une clé, mais je sais pas où ça ouvre. Voilà. C'est toujours pas là. C'est pas la porte du fond. Là, y a rien. Il me faut la clé pour là.
I cannot enter.
Ouais, mais j'ai une clé qui pour ouvrir certainement une porte en bas qui me donnera une clé pour ouvrir la porte en haut. Tellement logique. What? Où qu'il est? Ah, j'ai compris. Ah ouais.
These scowls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
Petite salope. Bon, j'ai encore des copains là-bas. Là, rien. Ah, là, j'ai un copain. Ça, c'est fait. Une pièce à la fois. Alors... Oh, 3 pièces. Waouh, 3 malheureuses pièces. Je peux me prendre un soda, même pas.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this.
Non mais... Attends. Ah, je vais l'ouvrir ça. Je peux pas l'ouvrir. Ok, ça c'est la porte d'où je viens. Ça c'est la porte où il y en a un. Non. Ah non, il y a là. Ah mais c'est bon. Ah, quand il lançait lui, il arrête plus quoi. What?
These scowls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
Voilà. Les sentiments, ok. Je pense que j'ai fait le tour. Il faut quoi? Onde de nuit, fabriquer un traitement pour la fatigue, ok. Donc j'ai fini en fait ici. Je dois juste ici, traitement pour la fatigue, je dois le faire. Voilà. J'aimerais bien faire ça aussi. Pourquoi pas. Fais chier, je peux pas. Ah. Une formule éliminative, je peux analyser. Échantillon riche. Ok, ça me crée des trucs. On va écrire maintenant. Là c'est quoi? Traitement pour le rhume. Traitement pour la bronchite. Pneumonie. Bon, moi je suis prêt pour l'hiver les gars. Alors là il n'y a plus rien. Ok, ouais, c'est bon. J'entends encore des bruits, mais... Il y a juste des ambiances. C'est peut-être pas que des ambiances. On remet un petit peu de sang histoire de dire d'aller mieux. Voilà. Ok. Ouais, c'est tout, je crois que j'avais fouillé tout en bas. Je crois, hein, je vais quand même continuer. Même dehors. Non, c'est pas y aller. Ça mène dehors. Là, je vais être en bas. Cette pièce-là, j'ai été. Cette pièce, je l'ai faite. C'est bon. J'ai fait toutes les pièces de la mort. Voilà, là, on repart à l'hôpital. Je vais aller voir si je peux en savoir plus. Activer pour chercher les citoyens, ok. Je vais savoir si dans mon bureau je peux créer quelques sérums. Ce serait bien. Ouais, ça c'est le traitement pour la fatigue, c'est bon. Mais c'est celui-là que je crée. Voilà. Que lui, il me permet de remettre des points de vie. Un gros boost quoi. Et lui restaure tes points de sang. On va mettre un boost sur les points de vie. Le boost, c'est bien.
It's locked.
Ah, l'état de santé.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is, I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
I will not let you down, my boy.
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you bail.
Je veux pas l'état de santé.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Ok.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
Ah, je choisis, ok. 350 exp.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Ah là, il remonte à 500 expérience, ok.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Good evening, sir.
You always knew the words to calm the children.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Oh, elle veut de l'XP, elle veut de l'XP.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Je peux pas encore la fermer.
Yes, Doctor?
Please, could you point me in the direction of the morgue again?
It's the large boarded-up building behind the hospital. You can't miss it. The key I gave you will open the small back door to it.
Why then do you always work the nights? Don't you ever sleep?
At the Pembroke, we're always hands on deck.
Yeah.
Lack of sleep and the medical profession always ends in disaster. I've witnessed many a colleague succumb to stimulants to fight exhaustion. Drugs were as deadly as bullets in the trenches.
London's trenches start here at Pembroke Hospital. We are on the front line, make no mistake.
Your dedication to the Pembroke does you credit, Nurse Crane, but when do you sleep?
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor. Nursing is a vocation, not the labor of a journeyman.
Exactly how bad is the supply situation here at Pembroke?
It really depends. Dr. Swansea deftly works his society contacts for monies, but with the quarantine, well, we're in God's hands.
That's all for now, Nurse Crane, thank you.
I'm all right.
I will not let you down, my
Waste your
boy.
time with me.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed, yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Aren't you too old for such jealousy? It really won't do you any good, you know.
Don't be ridiculous, Dr. Reed. A simple glance is enough for me to know you have nothing for me to envy.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
Qu'est-ce que je fais? Le but ou je le bute?
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your
Répète-toi
time.
bientôt, tu verras.
We'll talk later.
C'est qui le patron dans cet hôpital là? C'est qui là? C'est qui le médecin, Vampyr? C'est pas toi. Dans le sang, n'oubliez pas que le sang est citoyen. Portez... Ouais, ok. Alors, un corbeau hôpital parlait à Edgar.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Alors, elle est morte il y a 2 jours et quelqu'un a déjà emménagé dans son appartement. Moi, il faudrait me donner un sacré paquet d'argent pour me faire dormir dans le lit d'une femme morte de la grippe il y a à peine quelques heures. Pardon d'avoir mis autant de temps à répondre à ta dernière lettre. Je dois m'occuper de Paul, de maman et de papa, tout en travaillant à l'usine, alors que j'ai eu du mal à trouver le temps d'écrire à ma sœur préférée. Au fait, mon fils m'a dit de passer le bonjour à sa tata Pipa. Tu devrais le voir, le petit garnement. Il me fait déjà tourner en bourrique. Maman te fait dire de rapporter encore de ces délicieux gâteaux la prochaine fois que tu reviendras à la maison. Dans ta dernière lettre, tu m'as dit que tu allais peut-être quitter ton poste à Pembroke Hospital. Laisse-moi te dire que tu ferais mieux d'y réfléchir à 2 fois. C'est vrai qu'il y a toujours du boulot à l'usine, mais les salaires sont lamentables. On s'ennuie plus qu'une journée dans une partie du jour. Ok, donc en fait elle veut se barrer. On pourrait... Allez, je vais la voir. C'est la fille que j'ai vue dehors qui travaille comme infirmière. C'est lui.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
You seem worried about the safety of your family, and it's obviously the reason why your wound troubles you so much.
I cannot give up on my children now. They both need me living.
What about their mother, if I may ask?
She died in 1915 during one of the first Zeppelin raids. We never found her body.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army, building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
Ouais, il va 850 d'expérience, je peux encore apprendre un secret sur lui, pour le faire monter à 1000. Mais il m'intéresse déjà bien comme ça.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
All I wanted was to go back to work, to take care of my children.
Dr. Reed, may I help you?
C'est pas elle.
Well, Dr. Swansea certainly has confidence in your abilities. Are you in charge of the nursing staff?
Not in an official capacity, but the Pembroke doesn't always work above board, so to speak.
How is the duty roster organized?
Everybody works until they can't. If there's time, they'll eat a meal and shed a silent tear.
What about medical protocols?
Dr. Reed, we don't have the money and resources here at the Pembroke like they do in the West End. We do what we can.
I'll see you later, Nurse Crane. It's locked, all right. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your
Derrière
license
Ratch,
revoked?
le père de
No,
Ratch.
sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
Merci Radwich.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
A funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
Alors. Ça, c'est pas mal. Oui, de l'opium.
Tomorrow, more bodies will arrive and then sadly depart. I'm managing a train terminal.
Donc là, il y a de l'opium, de la codéine. Bon, je pense qu'il faut ramasser un truc. Elle est où la femme? Elle est devant là, je crois. C'est elle qui veut se barrer. Viens ici, toi.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening,
C'est pas elle.
Doctor.
Goodbye, Nurse.
Au
Call
revoir.
me if you need assistance.
C'est elle.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Non. Si.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't feel that useful. I want more. I want to make things change.
But you're doing something important here. For all the patients who need your help.
We save lives, sure. Each time we send a cured patient home, it's a relief beyond words. But since the epidemic, I feel so powerless.
Ouais, j'ai encore.
Do you need medical help yourself, Nurse?
I'm fine, really. I just need to sleep.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Parler à Edgar, qui soigne ça. Trouver les portefeuilles perdus dans le jardin. Et on va essayer de trouver le portefeuille. Ah non, je viens de me soigner. Ouais, n'importe quoi. Que je viens de me soigner, quoi.
So, Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't feel that useful. I want more. I want to make things change.
But you're doing something important here. For all the patients who need your help.
We save lives, sure. Each time we send a cured patient home, it's a relief beyond words. But since the epidemic, I feel so powerless.
C'est un autre truc à lui donner. Il n'y a rien d'autre à lui donner. Bon.
It's locked, all right.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. I feel better already. Can I go soon?
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. I feel better already. Can I go soon?
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
je dois aller à l'étage. Je sais pas ce qu'il est. Non, c'est à l'étage.
It's locked.
Voilà.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
There is an absurd poetry to my situation. Physician, heal thyself.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
Thank you. But I'd rather you didn't speak so lightly about my condition. There is nothing I find amusing about this situation.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in. It's locked, all right.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
So it seems our Dr. Swansea does indeed have a fascination for creatures of our constitution.
Dr. Swansea is a remarkable man. Dedicated, one might say, obstinate? He spent years compiling our bestiary.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Safer here than anywhere else in the East End.
Ok. On aurait bien fait cette histoire de portefeuille là.
What? What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round. Miss Jones, greetings. How do we feel?
Again? Waking a poor old woman in her sleep? There isn't a poor life needs saving somewhere?
Now, I need to ask you a few simple questions.
Well, if you really must.
If you could just tell me why you were admitted.
It's terrible, Doctor. What with a pain in my chest, coughing up blood, and I get awfully tired. Wouldn't be so bad if I hadn't lost my house and all.
I see.
No one comes to visit, you know. Not even my own flesh and blood.
Have you noticed any suspicious comings or goings?
It would be a great deal easier to make a list of things unsuspicious in this house of charlatans.
Come now, Miss Jones. Surely it's not that bad.
Have you no eyes? This hospital accepts all manner of souls, regardless of origin. The proper sick cannot heal. We're kept sickened by the refugees.
Everyone here is very capable. I have not seen any instances of unprofessionalism.
Thieves and murderers, the lot. People have gone missing here, you know. Poof, without a trace.
I'll come and visit you shortly. Good night, Miss Jones. The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
J'ai plein de trucs à faire.
Pembroke is so lucky to have Dr. Reed, you know. I met him in New York once.
If only there were more of us. Less resignation.
Is our little mystery closer to being solved, Dr. Reed?
I think of nothing else, my lady.
My situation is delicate, and it occupies all my thoughts. The blackmail must stop. I need assurance.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
Ah, ça fait bien.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
La fuite commune ressort. Ok.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Il n'y a pas de ressort, lui.
Perhaps I should have considered the offer from that Callaghan fellow.
La 48 et la 27.
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor. Just like the patients.
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What steps are you prepared to take to feel more useful?
I don't know yet. My sister believes that the real fight is in the streets nowadays. Maybe she's right. Maybe this is what I must do.
And what about Milton Hooks? Does he share your point of view?
For Milton, any change means more comfort and more peace. I disagree.
If you feel that saving lives is not useful enough, perhaps it means that you've lost faith.
On the contrary, my faith has never been stronger. Maybe we are all just too proud to face up to the fact that science cannot compete with God.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. It's locked. It's locked, all right.
il faut une graisse de vis. 2 morceaux de gâchette, ok. C'est bon. vais arrêter ici le live. Hein. Voilà, ciao ciao, merci pour ceux qui suivent, et à la prochaine.